Welcome to Studio 58A Live here at the Jamaica Information Service, our discussion program coming to you live on Facebook. I'm your host, Vaughn Davis. Thank you to everyone joining us online wherever you are around the world. We really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for your eyes. And as you watch, remember to send in your questions and your comments so we can put them to our guest. And like how we have your attention, do us a favor, no? Share this video with a friend or 2 or 5,000 so we can have a very lively discussion. Now, for all of our country's challenges and difficulties, one thing that is for certain is that when it comes to us Jamaicans, we love the country bad. And when good things are happening in the country, we want to be a part of the excitement and help spread the joy and excitement among the people. Well, guess what? In about a year and a half, in 2022, something very special and exciting is going to happen. Jamaica are going to turn 60. And there's a very special way in which Jamaicans at home and in the diaspora can participate. You have the opportunity to help create the logo that will help memorialize this grand occasion. How? Well, that's why we're here. With us today is Project Director for the Secretariat for Planning Commemorative Events and Special Projects in the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Mr. Lenford Salmon. He's going to give us all the details, so stay tuned. Welcome, Mr. Salmon. Thank you for being here today. Can you hear me?
Yes, I think they have muted me, but yes, I heard you clearly, and sure, thanks for having me.
All right, so Mr. Salmon, talk to us about this competition here. How did we arrive at this idea to do like throw it out there and just involve the whole public in this? Because normally you could just easily get some creative person or get some artists from around the place, well-known artists, that kind of thing, to just do it. Why throw it out to members of the public?
Yes, in fact, we even have in-house graphic designers.
Exactly.
But the minister felt that she wanted this thing to be more inclusive. And so she felt that rather than 2, 3, 4, 5 persons sitting in a corner and coming up with something that is going to be used to celebrate Jamaicans, not only at home, but right across the diaspora. She just felt that she wanted to open it to a wider field, and in that regard, to pull from a greater inspiration, a greater pool of resources to come up with that ideal logo. And so it was really the minister's idea to let us get out there and have a competition, and the best one will choose the best one.
All right, so let's give people the details, the who, what, where, when, why, how. So, how do they get, if they hear this now and they say, boy, I know this loan like something what I want to do, how do I even get started? Yes. Where do I go? What do I do?
All right, first of all, the easiest place for you to go for the information actually is the GIS website, gis.gov.jm.
I would like when you say them things.
No, but for real, that right now is the best place. There are several other places that it's available, but the most accessible and the easiest place that I can refer people to. GIS is so easy to call. So the gis.gov.jm, just jump on there and you'll see all the rules. But in a nutshell, in case you can't jump on now and you're listening, it's restricted to Jamaicans, although we've opened it to the world, but Jamaicans, anywhere you are in the world, once you can prove your Jamaican heritage, then fine. What do we ask for? We ask for a copy of the biographic page of your passport.
All right.
And it has to be a valid passport. So if you are of Jamaican heritage and you don't have a passport, then on this occasion, you wouldn't qualify.
But to the people, them suppose the elderly people, them who not traveling at all long, because they
No. What I'm saying is, let me make the distinction. That's for people particularly overseas.
Okay.
If you are in Jamaica, all you have to do is to prove your residency in Jamaica. Because there are several Jamaicans who don't own a passport.
That's true.
Right. So if you either send us your birth certificate, or you can prove that I am John Jones and I live at 34 South Street in Waterley in some district, and you can prove that, then your submission would be accepted. What we wanted to do, we didn't believe that, we believe that we have the talent pool in our nationality.
That's
and
true.
So we felt that this coming of age at 60, we felt that it should be one of us that come up with that logo, and we are unapologetic about that. And so we have kind of restricted it to Jamaicans. Whether you are resident in Jamaica or wherever in the world you are, you qualify.
All right, that sounds good. I like that already. So, encouragement, sweeten labor, Mr. Salmon. What are we talking about in terms of the prize and so on people can get if they are successful in getting this? So first of all, is it like a top 3 kind of thing, or is it really just a out and out winner, winner sits down, winner gets the prize, that kind of thing?
All right. That I'll answer it in 2 ways. We will, in fact, select the top 3 designs as insurance. The lawyers and the more technical people kind of warned us to say, don't pick one, because if you pick one and then you can't come to an agreement and get the person to sign a contract and those little legalese, then you need to move to the second place and then the third place and so on. So though it will be a winner take all of US $2,500, nice Christmas present.
Exactly.
The winner will take all, but winner in the sense that the design which won is selected as the preferred, and we don't want to say the winning.
Okay.
Because they will all be winners. Once you have submitted, you are a winner.
Exactly.
They'll all be winners. So the design which is in the view of the selection committee is the one which finds favor and the one which we believe best celebrates our Diamond Jubilee. So it's a winner take all for that individual, but it will be a top 3, and we'll select the best from that 3.
All right, so US $2,500, like you just said, is a very, very nice thing to start the new year with, especially like how 2020 has been going so far. You know what I mean?
Yes.
2,500 can go a very long way in the new year.
It can do a thing.
Yeah, man.
And as you know, creatives are one of the most effective sectors across the world. So this is a nice little bonus that we have put in the pot for one of our creatives to be able to benefit from.
Absolutely. Now, just in case you're just joining on, we're talking here about the JA60 logo design competition. In case you just heard, the prize money is $2,500 US. A nice little chump change. You know what I'm saying? And the goal is to create something that will help memorialize the celebrations for 2022 when Jamaica turns the grand old age of 60. You know what I mean? If you have questions, comments, jump in, share them in the comments. We have Mr. Salmon here, project director in the secretariat that plans these commemorative events and special occasions. If there's anything you'd like to ask him, now is the time. Talk to him. This is what the show is all about, connecting you with the technocrats, with the persons in these seats at the table, so that you can get your opinions out. If there's anything you feel like the competition is missing or any other way it could go, I don't think it's too late. You can always make a suggestion, and Mr. Salmon is here to listen and send some feedback. All right. So if you have questions, now is the time. Jump on, type them in the comments. We can ask them to him and he can get an answer same time. Right. Now, Mr. Salmon, over to you. In terms of, I don't think you can answer this question by yourself, but what you're looking for, what you think would make for a really good design, just to provide some guidance to those who hear and are interested and, feel like they want to try their hand at this competition.
Essentially, well, I'm not a part, and deliberately so. I'm not a part of the selection committee, but there are some guidelines that we have given the selection committee, that the design must be truly representative of Jamaica. It must incorporate the Jamaican colors, the Jamaican spirit. A designer may choose to say, all right, my thing will be predominantly the Jamaican colors. Another designer may say, well, apart from the Jamaican colors, I want some quintessential Jamaican things to be a part of it. So therefore, I may want the Aki to be a part of it. I may want the Lingam Vitae, which is our national flower. They may want the Dr. Bird to be a part of it. So we have given a blank slate to designers with few straitjacket around it. The only straitjacket we have put around it is that it must represent the spirit of the Jamaican people, and it must reflect our national symbols or our national color. So once somebody look at that Jamaica 60 logo, it must say Jamaica. You must know, say, it has celebrated our Diamond Jubilee, and it is not some country elsewhere. It is none other than the Rock.
All right. So, well, I know. So is there a theme that you guys are working with, or you haven't decided on? Because a theme would, help kind of narrow the mind, something like that.
Again, we didn't want to. We had the choice to do that, and we thought that may push them again down a tunnel. And we really wanted designers to just let their imagination go wild. and come up with the design. So we deliberately did not put a theme. In fact, the theme will probably even come out of the logo
Okay.
because a narrative, a 100-word narrative, has to come with the design, telling us
Okay.
what. Oh yes. So you have to tell us what inspired the design. What is the design saying? The design may even come with a call to action to say for the next 60 years, this logo we're hoping will inspire Jamaicans over the next 60 years. I'm probably saying too much and influencing people, but that's essentially what the committee will be looking for. How does this design represent the people, represent the spirit of the people, represent the culture of the people, and perhaps even inspire them for the next 60 years to come?
Right, sounds fantastic to me, especially that part. I mean, it would be good to also share with the public that, the whole inspiration, because we always, want to hear what the artist had in mind when they put pen to paper and decided that you want to create something special or something cool or interesting, that kind of thing. So that sounds really good. I hope you publish that and let persons into the mind of the artist in some way. I'm sure they'd appreciate that.
Oh, yes,
No.
we also did that for Jamaica 50 and Jamaica 55, by the way. We have what is called a logo booklet, which gives the logo, it gives the colors that must be used, because as you know, different designers may use different versions of the what is called the Pantone colors. So we have a whole guideline as to how the logo must be used, what the logo ought not to be used to do. Of course, if people are going to be using the logo in a commercial way, then they have to get the rights from the government of Jamaica to so do. So if you want to say, for instance, use the Jamaica 60 logo to manufacture memorabilia, for instance, because this is for the people, by the way.
Right.
This is for the people of Jamaica. This is not those some people upon the ministry who are doing a thing for themselves.
Yeah.
This is for the people of Jamaica. So although the government will in fact do some memorabilia with the logo, we want the general public, manufacturers, t-shirt people, people who do mug, people who do anything them do. Once you make a submission to the ministry to get permission and to pay us a small royalty on the use of it, then it's for the people to use.
No, all right, so it's really over to the public. I mean, I can appreciate that.
Absolutely.
You want the people to own it, feel pride in it,
Absolutely.
and association with it, and just use it far and wide. Because I think the more
Absolutely.
the use, the better. The more we
Yeah.
spread the message and build the vibes. You know what I mean?
Right. So the only restriction is that you have to get permission to use it, but we're not restricting anybody from using it.
All right, that sounds good. So, I mean, do you have anything in house that you plan to put it on, or any kind of because back in the day, I'm sure there's many people who can go in them cabinet right now and show them that the mug or the plate or whatever from the original independence celebrations. You know what I mean? So,
Yes, man.
does the
I have
ministry
friends.
itself have any special things planned?
Yes, we do have a whole set of memorabilia that we are planning to put out there. Some of which will be guided by what happened in 1962. I have friends actually who were around. I was actually born in 1962, so I'm an independence baby.
All right,
But
cool.
I do have friends who were born before. I don't want to give anybody age, but say for instance, like Failington. Failington now the boss when she have a little mug and thing with the coat of arms on it that she got as a memorabilia in 1962. Yeah, if you go kill me, can we just give her age,
No, she
But,
all right. Good. She are good people. She all right.
but there are several people like Faye who still to this day, 58 years after, cherish and have these as a valuable part of their collection, the memorabilia which they got when Jamaica became independent in 1962. And that's what we're hoping for as well. That 60 years time, people will look back and will be able to say this came out of Jamaica 60 with the same sense of pride and the same sense of belonging, the same sense of attachment to these memorabilia.
Repetition is the key to learning, Mr. Salmon. So I want to ask you one more time to tell people how they can enter the competition, where they must go, what they must do, etc., etc., etc.
Again, the easiest place to get the information is on the GIS website, gis.gov.jm. Submissions are to the Jamaica 60 Secretariat at gmail.com, as in the word Jamaica spelled out, the figure numeral 60, Jamaica 60, not SIX, but the figure 60. So Jamaica 60 Secretariat at gmail.com is where submissions must be made. Your submission, if you're from overseas, again, must be accompanied by proof that you are a Jamaican, because again, that's the gatekeeper is going to look out to make sure that no little man from elsewhere not sneaky in a thing power.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Definitely.
once you prove that you're a bona fide yardie, then you're in, and then may the best one be successful.
Right. What's the deadline for submission again?
Deadline is midnight on Friday, January 19, 1-9. Friday, January 19 at midnight is the deadline for submissions.
All right. So you hear that, people? If you, I would start get work on it now. Do some research. Really go back into your Jamaicanness, sit down and just think about some ackee and saltfish and some Sunsea and all these things. Marcus Garvey, listen to some Bob Marley music. Go deep in your Jamaicanness and see if some inspiration can come down and help you find a logo that will really capture and represent Jamaica at 60. You know what I mean? But while I'm here, I mean, it would be good to get from you, Mr. Salmon, Jamaica at 60. What does that mean to you? Jamaica 60 years old, and what does that personally mean to you? You know what I mean?
Well, remember, it's going to be more significant for people like me and my friends, so many of my friends that were born. I was born in October 1962, just right after independence. So I'm an independent baby. So I am. My friends always tell me you're as old as Jamaica, which sometimes is complimentary, sometimes it's not.
I would take it as a compliment.
Yes. So for me, it holds great significance for me. But because I'm fiercely Afrocentric, I cherish things that have pride in self, pride that nobody's better than I am. I'm not determined by race or color or creed. I believe every human have the potential in them to be great, no matter who you are or where you're from, and that's what guided me. I am a scholar of Garvey's teaching. I don't know enough about it. I really do need to read more about it. But from the little I know, I'm inspired by the teachings of Marcus Garvey, which kind of put a steely resolve in my desire to take pride in self and who I am and the potential that I have to be whoever I want to be. And that's the message that I do have a lot to do with young people. I have some responsibility for the guiding the development of young people in schools. And that's a constant message I carry to them. That don't be determined by where you're from. Look at where you want to go and how you can get there. Map out the roadmap as to where you want to go. Not where you come from doesn't define you. What will define you is where you end up at the end of the day. And that's it. That's a constant message I carry to them.
So as you know, as you mentioned, you're as old as Jamaica. So as you would have grown up and come into knowledge of self and really have become adulthood and all of that, you would have seen the country transition through so many different phases and so on. Is there any particular segment of our history that sticks out to you or has had a significance to you in the 60-year time that that we've been around as a fully independent nation, that kind of thing? Is there any period in our history that you identify with or sticks out to you or had an impact on you that that means something to you?
I don't know that there's a period which does that. What I do know is that I've seen over time what I've called a degradation of morals. I think we have lost our moral compass. Things that become commonplace now. Take, for instance, even the violence that plagues us. And to see that people would harm children and old people, it pains my heart. Absolutely. Because even for the toughest gunman in them years gone by, there was an unwritten rule that those people are off the radar. You can't. It's kind of a rule among bad men. Say, boy, trouble pick old people. In fact, there was a time where it wouldn't even be women at all.
Exactly.
But children, particularly, and old people, would be off the radar. Nowadays, I see them harass a old woman and beat her up and take her money down a country, and it pains my heart. That somebody would do that. So if there's one regret I have, is that we really seem to have lost our moral compass. COVID, I think, has brought about a very unfortunate situation. A lot of our children, I think, in the next couple of years to come, I think we're going to reap the whirlwind of not having them in school right now.
Absolutely.
That's one of the most painful things, and it kind of widened the gap between the haves and the have-nots. A lot of schooling is still happening for the people who can afford to be online. In some other places where I have some other responsibilities, there are children that I know that have not been engaged at all since the 12th of March to date, at all. They're not from surroundings where their parents can help with the continuing their education. Their parents themselves are struggling to just make two ends meet. And it's not necessarily a case that they don't want to, but they can't. They don't have the wherewithal, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the resources to educate their children themselves, and they have not been online. And that's my real worry, that a generation is coming that may literally be uneducated. And education matters, a whole heap.
It is the avenue through which you really open your mind and expand your potential. That's the gate. You talk about gatekeepers a while ago. That is the literal gate through which you go to really start the process of that self-actualization and development and understanding of self and what your purpose is and so on and so forth. But I'm a strong believer in what the Governor General likes to say, which is there's nothing wrong with Jamaica that can't be fixed by what is right with Jamaica. So it falls to us, the persons who have that burning interest, that passion, that desire to see the country take those transcendental steps into nationhood to really become the country that we know it can be if all of us collectively make the effort. And funnily enough, don't underestimate the value of competitions like these. These have a very significant role to play, believe me. And my wife always says she would like to have us recite the pledge every so often. Or she remembers back in the day when when TV sign on and I sign on with the anthem or sign off with the anthem, and then you sign on, you would have to hear the anthem. So it's like it became ingrained in your psyche, and that became a part of how you grew as a Jamaican person. So you really truly appreciated what it meant to be a Jamaican. And then when you had to recite the pledge in school, that truly appreciate and reinforce what it meant to be Jamaican. And so when you have competitions like these that tap into our Jamaicanness or force us to take a hard look at what it means to be a Jamaican. What is a Jamaican? What is a good Jamaican? You know what I mean? What is the power of a Jamaican in the international stage? Then we have reason to be happy because it reinforces for us. And those who have it, we can then take it and pass it down to our children. And hopefully they can keep that same Jamaicanness, and we can push back against the forces which are trying to take our country and turn it into something that we definitely don't want to see it become. So, you know what I mean? Looking at competitions like these, they make me very happy, and I'm very glad that you guys are taking the time at the Secretariat to roll something out that not just includes us here, but members in the diaspora. And like how I'm on that subject, talk to me about the diaspora and how you are, making sure that you engage them, because it's difficult to sometimes, they might see it on social media and so on, but it's difficult to always engage them. And some of them feel like, boy, them get the what left when it comes to information coming out of Jamaica. Any plan to make sure that we engage them and make sure that they are part of this competition?
Oh, absolutely. But before I even say that, one of the takeaways from the little discussion we just had, you see, one of the things that I really like to say to almost every single Jamaican, whether home or abroad, I think of each of us, stop and even help one child, one individual that doesn't have the wherewithal to educate themselves. If each one teaches one, each one helps one. I'm one of those persons who believe that whatever I have, the Almighty has given it to me, not for myself, but to help myself and to help somebody else. Absolutely. So He has kind of invested it in me as a channel to get it to others, even one person. And I believe that if each of us take a responsibility to say, look, I've been blessed with some resources. Some can't afford it, but if you can afford it, reach out to an individual, a child who doesn't have a device right now to be online. If you can, over 2-3 months, don't stop at a rum bar and drink for the next 3 months. But a tablet is $200,
Exactly.
Which is
you can drink that in a month if you decide to go.
Absolutely.
One less drink.
Absolutely. And just identify that one child and say, I'm going to make my contribution. I think that collectively, you talk about the collective responsibility, collectively, I think that is one of the things that will push us along the line to where we want to go.
Absolutely.
But you mentioned the diaspora. Part of the reason why we do all of that we're doing now in terms of the competition and so on is particularly with the diaspora in mind. In fact, we kind of turned the corner during the independence celebrations with the festival song, the Jamaica Festival Song Competition, where for the first time, people in the diaspora were able to vote. And that's one of the things that, again, a brainchild of Minister Grange.
I know they appreciated that.
Right. Well, we no longer believe that 5 persons must sit around a table and decide to the festival song for 3 million people at home and 3 million Jamaicans overseas. That them 5 people they must determine what that song is. Not at all. So she has decided to take a decision to open it up to the people and not just the Jamaicans here. Because the diaspora them complain, so the only thing we create in the mind is when we want remittance.
Exactly. We believe we get the complaints them too. We hear them, man. Just them vex.
The only time the people in the mind when they know why we send money by one of the money transfer services. But
Right.
no.
Right.
And it's maybe a colonization in reverse kind of attitude. We're saying to them, no. We're not just wanting you to reach out to us. We are reaching out to you. Because people, let me tell you, a lot of people who migrate are still fierce to Jamaicans. I have many friends. Them sometimes more Jamaican than we, the Jamaicans here.
Them wear the colors, them have the coat of arms. I mean, them represent. They really represent and fly the flag for Jamaica high wherever they are overseas.
And the feedback we got from that opportunity that they had to be able to actively participate in determining what the festival song was just overwhelming. We got the feedback and we not turn back. That's the general direction in which we want to go. The festival song, henceforth and forever, that's how it's going to be determined as long as Minister Grange has anything to do with it. And that's why we reached out to them in instances like this. As things would have it, COVID forced us for the national awards. Amazingly, some people were saying, it's the first time even paying attention to this national awards thing. Yeah, I mean, some people used to get some little OJ and some little thing. But they actually, because it was in that space now, Jamaicans all across the world, a guy tell me, it's Saudi Arabia there now.
Yes,
and then watch it on him thing and get it on and was able to watch it. So the short answer to your question is yes. This gives us, COVID comes with a lot of adversity, but it also offers us a lot of opportunities. This is one of the opportunity for us to now reach out and to kind of put the world in a tighter capsule where Jamaicans are only a touch on their computer away from what is happening at home and be able to be involved and participate in it.
I was just about to remark that COVID actually has had that positive knock-on effect in the sense that right about now, everybody's tuned into the digital landscape, the virtual space. That's where everything I keep, everything I keep. You know what I mean? So right about now, it's easy for them to, while we have their attention, we can just slip in. Hey, by the way, so you can help design the logo for the Jamaica 60 celebrations, though. It's like, what? Yes. All right. Oh, by the way, you can collect a little 2.5 US fee too. Like, yeah, man, them definitely have, or we will definitely have their attention. And I would like to show people online some love, them behaving themselves to them. Mr. Salmon, I don't know what you do before you come on here while them not getting no trouble today. But like I said, I throw it out there. If you have any questions about the competition, feel free to send them in so we can put them to Mr. Salmon and get some answers for you. Anything you want to ask him about, talk to him about, that kind of thing. But Candice Christine was asking, how will the gatekeepers get around those who try to falsify their proof of Jamaican heritage? You might have a little one man from Trinidad or Barbados or a man from France or Germany decides they want to run in on the competition in Mr. Salmon, and we don't really too want that. So how we are going to make sure so we keep out those non-Jamaicans? Not that we want them to come and want them to participate and see what going on, but this is a Jamaican thing. We are close the gate for us alone. How we are going to make sure we keep that up?
Assure my good lady that, remember, they have to submit as a part of the submission a copy of the bio page of their passport, and there's a database right here at Passport Office where every Jamaican who have a passport anywhere in the world you are. And Mr. Winter up there, we're going to reach out to him to verify that this page that you copy and send come with this passport number corresponds with that name and that you're a bona fide yardie. So give her the assurance that yes, indeed, we will be checking to make sure.
So I'm sure I got 1 or 2 people who feel like, but Mr. Salmon, what if my mother is a Jamaican? She carried me, I'm born American, but my mother is Jamaican, and as far as me concerned, me Jamaican in us. Yes, and me eat rice and peas and chicken every Sunday. Me eat my curry goat and all them something. Then I must can sneak in at one entry up to the mother feel that way.
Regrettably enough, people are eat oxtail and curry goat now overseas there and call themselves. By the way, I have several friends overseas who I became friends with who are Africans.
Mm-hmm.
Who, you know, you can't tell, say them are Jamaican, them not Jamaican, right?
Sound about right,
Trust
cause
me, them sound just like Jamaican, especially if they have a British accent.
exactly
And say I'm Jamaican, you know. You can't tell them say them are not Jamaican, and them never one day set foot at Jamaica.
nothing never
So
never.
we have no, we're going to be very strict on the rule. You must submit that bio page, and we will verify with passport office that it is a legitimate passport.
Well, Miss Candice Christian is saying great, sounds good. So I think you've put her mind at ease. So it's only us Jamaicans have the chance to, you know, create our entry and submit it and so on. Like I said, man, I just like to toss it out there. You get that little 25 US. Nice pocket change for start 2021. All right, let me just switch tack a little bit just to something. Have we already begun thinking about what Jamaica 60 is going to look like? Any kind of plans, any kind of preparations that you can? I know it kind of early and things, and I mean, no one can really know what's going on because nobody really planned for COVID in 2020. But you have any idea what direction you might want to take the celebrations in at that time? You know what I mean? It's a year and a half away, but you know, people just might want to whet their appetite a little bit.
Yeah, we have begun laying down the plans, and the getting the logo is an integral part of that. But I'm not quite yet at liberty to give much information because there's a process which has to go through. In fact, the minister is now putting together what is called a national planning committee for Jamaica 60, which involve people from the opposition, people from civic society, because again, the minister is insistent that this can't be a couple of people locked up in a room and determine what happens for Jamaicans. So a national planning committee will be put in place. My charge, along with my team, is to come up with some plans which we put before the minister and the committee for their approval before we can release it to the general public. So regrettably, I wouldn't be able to reveal what we have on paper in pencil right now, because the committee may about our light and we have to start over.
That is very true. That is
so we have to tread very carefully as to how we disseminate that information. One other thing I can tell you as well is that we're going to be having the Jamaica 60 song competition. So that's also going to be a part of the mix coming up as well.
All right, so people get yourselves ready for that. All you musicians and so on out there, song competition. I mean, hey, that sounds like the perfect thing to have a song that capitalize or encapsulates what Jamaica is about at 60. That song going to play forever and ever and ever in perpetuity. So now is a good time to really start strum up here, tighten up test the guitar, piano. Just start think about it and think about some lyrics and so on. You know what I mean? It's a good look. That's a good look. Quick question. If COVID-19 is around, what will be the format of the celebration? This is coming from Elaine online.
It would again be in the virtual space if COVID hangs around and give us the same challenges. We just came out of Jamaica 58, which was literally totally online. So the same thing, maybe by Jamaica 59, we're probably still going to be in the virtual space, depending on how the thing pans out. But you know, Vaughn, what I want to say to everybody listening, particularly people here in Jamaica, how long COVID hangs around depends on us, you know, a whole deal on us, you know, and how we behave, how we take the thing seriously. You know, if we had behaved a little more responsibly, we wouldn't be where we are now. We did such a marvelous job as a people in terms of how we cooperated with the restrictions laid down, that we were able to be a poster child for the World Health Organization, for the world looking on to say Jamaica was a poster child in how we managed. And that could not have happened without the cooperation of the people, right? But somehow we just lost it. We got complacent.
Yep.
And we've lost. And it's a thing where if it leg up and we, you know, it's hard to catch it back, you know.
We really hope that not really happen, you know. We don't really try to push that one to one side.
Yes, it's hard to catch
the behavior of the people is suggesting otherwise, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully people get the message this time around. Every time we take a foot off of the gas, there's a spike, like clockwork.
Absolutely.
People appreciate what's going on, you know what I mean?
So once we behave, we won't even be talking about a virtual Diamond Jubilee. We'll be able to have our normal Jubilee, and that's what we want. So just help us. The people will determine, not us.
I'm sure I speak to everybody like I don't want to have a virtual Diamond Jubilee. I want to have a big old splash where everybody in Jamaica can come together. I really appreciate the fact that the country maturing. 60 is not a, you know what I mean? It's not a little thing. It's a big deal. You know what I mean? So I hope we can celebrate accordingly. Candice Kristen is asking, anything to share about how Jamaica 59 will go in terms of special activities? Because I mean, we kind of jump a year and a half ahead. We're not even talking about next year when Jamaica becomes 59. Anything in the bag or anything you can tell us just briefly about that?
We cannot tread in carefully again because we watching to see how the things will pan out in the first quarter of the year, and then that will guide how we approach Jamaica 59. Again, we do have a draft program on the table, but we don't want to say much until we have a clearer picture as to how things will pan out. What we do know is that we have been affected, as you know, a lot of what happens in August, particularly in terms of the performing arts and so on,
Absolutely.
comes out of competitions which begin like in September of the previous year. Now we have lost the fourth quarter of this year where there was none of that could happen. So we already know that a lot of that will not be a part of Jamaica 59. So at least we know that. In terms of the major celebrations that we have at Independence Time, the Grand Gala and the Festival Village with Festival Queen and the Festival Song and so on, we will get a clearer picture around about February, March, when we see how things are panning out with COVID, and be better able to kind of judge how and gauge what we can do. Already we have made a decision, by the way, that Reggae Month, which comes up in February, is going to be totally virtual.
Wow. Okay.
We're in the virtual space, totally. We have no choice but to go that route now.
Coming from last year when we had those festivals with the Sons of Legends and so on. I mean, it's gonna be a iffy transition, but I guess
But it's still going to be great.
Is
Believe
what
me.
it is. Yeah,
It's
we know we
still
have
gonna be
virtual shows and virtual shows are happening and so on. So we know we can still have the same impact.
It is still
Which is
going to
why I
be.
would love to be there in person. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
And so Bob Marley said, when music hit, it feel no pain. And when you're live, trust me, you're there beside the speaker and you see the drummer and the bass guitar and everybody do them thing. It's a real joy to behold. But we understand.
Yes, but what Marley never says that when COVID hit, you feel pain.
Exactly. Pain words. Candice Kristen, one more question. She's saying, let's say COVID-19 stays longer than anticipated. What suggestions can you give to families on how they can celebrate at home? Because I mean, yeah, you represent the culture ministry, and definitely it's a good idea. People have now to be finding creative ways of engaging each other and so on, and maintaining that connection even though they're separate. So, what kind of suggestions do you have?
It's not suggestion. It's precisely what we have been doing and where we continue to. We didn't just lay down arms and say, well, it's COVID, so we're not doing nothing. We moved a lot of the events, the ones we could, into the virtual space. That's how we had the virtual festival song competition, for instance. We didn't do the island-wide tour and so on. Everything was quite virtual. Reggae Month is going to be virtual. So right there in the comfort of your homes, you'll be able to at least get a good enjoyment and a good measure of a number of the events are still going to be virtual. So the message to family is don't despair. We know the four walls have a tendency to appear as if they're caving in on you inside the house. But like anything else, this too shall pass. And again, we can determine how soon it passes by how we behave. Let's just behave responsibly. And we will get back to normal far quicker by our own actions. So the message is, we determine how soon we come out of COVID.
All right, absolutely. All right, so shame on me for not mentioning Adizua Irenaeus, and she sent us a nice emoji with a warm hug on it. So it seems I'm making feel warm and fuzzy about this competition. Candice has one more question. Boy, Candice has a lot for you today. She's asking, but if connectivity poses a problem, what then? You know what I mean? For those, as we talked about the persons with the digital divide, and there are many persons who don't necessarily have ready access to the internet, etc., etc. I mean, I know there is only so much we can do and no more, but let me not put words in your mouth. I'll take on Candice's question.
Yeah, indeed, there are going to be some challenges in terms of connectivity. However, we have been partnering, as we did with the festival song competition, where one of our free to air stations, in fact, not one, both free to air, because one did gospel and one did the festival song, where the free to air, of course, is island wide. So a number of the events will not depend on you having to have internet connectivity, but once you have television access, anywhere, once you have an antenna and can put on top of your TV, the current two free to air, CVM and TVJ, a lot of the events will be on those platforms as well. So not to worry. You may not get the entire shebang that somebody who has internet connectivity will get, but you won't be left out at all if you don't have connectivity. Some of it will be on the free to air television stations.
All right, fantastic. All right, so let's just bring things full circle one more time just to make sure persons are aware. So we're talking here about the Jamaica 60 logo competition. And like Mr. Salmon says, you can hop on to the JIS website at jis.gov.jm. And that's where you get all the competition details and guidelines. Deadline for submission, well, you can submit you know what? Let me not talk. You are our guest. You're here. You're the expert. Tell the people what they need to do so they can submit their entry on time and be a part of this competition.
Right. Although the deadline is January 19, don't wait until January 19 and then 10,000 people try to submit at one time and there are challenges. Right? It's just the last date on which submissions will be permitted. But if your design is ready tonight, submit it tonight. There's no early date that you can't submit it. That is just the outside date, after which we will not accept any submission. So get your designs in, get them in as early as you can. The date for the deadline is Friday, January 19 at midnight. After that, no more submissions. You submit it in a JPEG format, and it can be uploaded. You don't need to travel to GIS at all. You upload everything online, including proof that you are Jamaican, and then you are in. And like the lotto, if you don't have an entry, you don't have a chance.
You can't say, oh, it should have looked like this, it's there already. Why them should have put this on the design and them should have do this, them should. No, I mean, in that case, no, you can't sit down on the sidelines and a cuss on top of what it should have looked like. You should have created something.
Yes. And by the way, we have been interacting with a number of people who, if there is anything that you're not sure about in terms of what you're to do, just drop us a note, a message at the Jamaica 60 Secretariat at gmail.com. And we've been responding. I'll be quite happy to respond to any query you have. There may be one or two points you just wasn't clear about in terms of the guidelines. Just drop us a note. I will be only too happy to respond to your query.
Right, and just reinforce again that the winning design, or well, not so much the winning design, but the designs should reference elements of our Jamaican heritage and culture. No straitjacket. You're not going to tell them what to do, what to think, but talk to them.
Let it reflect the spirit of the Jamaican people, the culture of the Jamaican people. We're giving you a free hand to give us what for you represent what our achievement is over the 60 years and possibly how you see the next 60 years. How can this inspire us in going forward?
All right. I mean, this is a great opportunity to all you artists out there, persons with creative abilities on the computer, freehand, whatever method or means you use to express your creativity or your artistic ability. This is a fantastic opportunity. I mean, you're going to create something that comes to be synonymous with the country and its 60th anniversary celebration, something that will definitely go beyond that date and just be synonymous with the country itself, something that represents Jamaica, something that may very well be in person's home for decades to come, on a t-shirt, on a mug, on a plate, on a badge, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So this is a fantastic opportunity for you as an artist to really boost your profile and raise your profile and take a real step forward in the creative landscape. Not to mention, as Mr. Salmon has mentioned before, $2,500. That's encouragement, sweet and labor. That's as much encouragement as as you can get. So definitely,
Vaughn. Although the price is $2,500, you see, the having pride of place as the artist whose design was selected to represent a nation, I think is even a bigger prize.
Absolutely.
Than the $2,500. Just to know that my children, my grandchildren, and their children will know that I was the one who created this design that represented the people in celebrating the 60th anniversary of their nation. And I believe that is even a bigger prize
Absolutely.
than the 2,500. Pride of place.
I agree.
My design was used.
Exactly. You might
And
go
it
into
never come.
somebody's house. Go into
Yeah.
somebody's house and see the design and say, boy, you know, my design that in
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. That's the biggest, for me, that's the biggest prize.
Raman Radical Epic Nichols is asking, one design per person?
No. Absolutely not. Unlimited amount. If you wanted to put in 40 design, quite up to you. No restriction on the amount of design at all.
All right, so there you have it. People can design as many as you want. Go out there from, you know, and I suppose no age limit again. You know, if you're a child,
No age limit.
Design or elderly person, whatever, just design with your heart's, design to your heart's content. Be free.
Absolutely.
Do what you want to do.
Absolutely. Because, you know, there are some, I used to have a little thing to do with children art in prep and primary schools. In fact, at Norman Manley Airport, some of them are adorn the walls at Norman Manley. Those children are very creative, you know.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
So it is not far-fetched that a child could win, you know.
I wouldn't put it past anybody. I certainly believe that sometimes the simple design of a child can just be something that is so perfect and universal that everybody appreciates it. So, you know what, if your child is artistic, or, you know, even not, if your child just has a good idea, encourage them. And you know what I mean? As a parent, as a guardian, whoever, encourage them, let them enter. There's nothing to lose. You know what I mean? There's really nothing to lose. Let them enter. Give the judges a hard time to. That's right. I'm sure the judges want to have a hard time to decide and determine the winning entries in that competition.
Make them head pee in them.
Exactly. All right, I think we've pretty much covered everything. You know, unless now is the time, persons online. If you have any questions, you want to shoot them in now, go ahead, because I think we pretty much covered everything, and I think we can move to wrap. You know what I mean? I just want to thank everyone who tuned into our discussion, especially those of you who have your questions and your comments. And if you have a question or something and you'd like to ask, go ahead. We're going to go through afterwards, and we'll be able to send a message to Mr. Salman or to the relevant people so that they can give you the right information, give you the answers that you need. All right. So remember, our audience plays a major part in our show. If there's anyone in particular you'd like us to have in studio, let us know. We'll try to have that person in studio as soon as possible. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Jamaica Information Service to see who will be in studio next. We do this every week live on Facebook. I've been your host, Vaughn Davis, and this has been Studio 58A Live. Thank you very much for joining us, and please have a wonderful day.